Okay, so we're going to work on our panel quilt for this month. And as you can see, it's just a simple little panel. My mom sent me this. It's something she found in her stash. And here's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to do something different. Y'all know I like to be different. And I really don't know if this is going to work. But I'm going to put it out there. We're going to see how it goes. If it's a total flop, you probably will never see this video. But my thought was to make some cuts across here at different intervals and put some strips in between it. Now, ideally, I would use black and make it kind of like a stained glass quilt. And I think I do have enough black to do it, but I don't know if I have pure black. So I also considered if I had a solid and maybe a yellow or gold might be pretty running through there, but I don't think I have that either. Random cuts, nothing thought out. It's going to be a lot of back and forth to the sewing machine and here, because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it, sew it, cut it, sew it, cut it, sew it. And that way it can come together, I think, a little bit better. So it'd be more like fractured glass, maybe a fractured quilt. I'm not sure what to call it. I don't think this ruler is long enough. I don't have a ruler longer than that, except for I do have my yardstick. So you know what, guys? I've never used a yardstick and a rotary cutter, but let me give it a shot. Your fingers are a bit closer doing something like this, so I am going to test to make sure it's completely apart, and it wasn't. Okay, so that's our first cut. Brave. I'd like a little bit to show, but not a whole lot. So if I cut 1 inch is not much. Let's see, 1 inch. Let's see how much 1 inch is going to look like. Actually, 1 inch is more than enough. Yeah, so let's cut some strips 1.5 inches. That way they'll be an inch. If it doesn't perfectly line up, that's going to be okay. It's going to be fractured. So let me put this here. Also, by doing it one cut at a time, we don't have to worry about getting the pieces all mixed up. Okay, guys, hold on. Let me grab some fabric. These are my choices. Put this back. I know y'all can't scream at me and I can't hear you telling me what is the best choice here, but I'm just going to put it there. I have this black that is not pure black. It's kind of a gray black. And I don't like that at all. I don't have any solid yellow. I have this yellow. I have this here, which is kind of looks like flowers. Can't remember what we used this on, but we used it on something. I know it doesn't really show here because it's running through the honeycomb, but I feel like it would show everywhere else. And then we have black. Yeah, I think that's going to be the winner because it's going to be the most contrast. Okay, well, you just kind of want to play with things sometimes and see if there's another option out there. Okay, so let me get this ironed out, cut into 1.5 inch strips. I'll meet y'all at the sewing machine. Okay, so I have both my pieces here. I think I'm going to start with the top piece. I don't think it really matters. I am sewing on a bias, so I need to keep that in mind, not to pull or stretch or anything like that. I have this piece ready here. So I'm just going to line it up with the edge. I'm going to be trimming this off here. So I'm not going to worry about, making it perfect there. My main thing is to get my good 1/4 inch because I would like my lines to be straight. I'm just going to lay it on here gently. I am not going to pull. I put black in my bobbin and my top thread. I know the quilt is mostly white, but I just feel like I need to match that black. So here we go. Okay, let's far enough. Cut that off. Just gonna trim it here. It doesn't have to be any particular. I think I'm going to trim it straight, tell y'all the truth. Now, this is a little piece left, and we may have a place for that somewhere else. I'm not sure. But for now, I'm going to set it on the side, and we'll test it when it's an opportunity to do so. These first few cuts will all be probably big cuts. So I'm going to lay that out, and I'm going to get my bottom. Now, my bottom, we'll make sure I at least do so that in the right direction, right? Because we want to make sure that the angle is correct. Okay, so we're going to sew it like this. I mean, we could sew it upside down, but it might look a little strange. So I'm going to look at this. Okay, first, let me just give this a little finger press here. I just got too much fabric here. And I am pressing toward the split pieces, the black trim, the sashing, I don't know what to call it. So if we look at this, it came apart like that. Now, if we take that 1/4 inch out of it, we're just peeking, so I can kind of get an idea. Okay, so if we do that, and then I open it up, you can pretty much line it up. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of line it up with the, let's turn this around so we can all have a look here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of line it up along here. But I'm going to skip over to this side. I'm going to put a pin in that, and I'm going to look at the other end. I mean, I don't want it to be perfect, but I don't want it to be crazy looking either. Not yet. Okay. And if we put this here and we flip it down, that's not too bad. I'm probably going to trim that yellow stripe off, but that gives me a good lineup point. So, because I didn't cut anything even, I'm just cutting and going. Okay, so I'm going to start it like this. Same thing, no pressure, no pulling, just laying it flat and letting it happen. Okay, guys, let's see what we got. Hey, that ain't too bad. So I'm going to take this to the ironing board, and I'm going to give it a good press, get it laid out flat, and then we're going to cut it somewhere else. I don't think that looks bad. On the edges, it's quite a bit off, probably 1/4 inch. This side not as much. I don't know why. But anyway, what I'm going to do is real quick, I'm going to chop this end off down here. There is this extra little straight panel piece down here, and I have an idea for using that in something else. So I'm going to go ahead and just get that out the way. Move that to the side. Now we have a smaller piece to deal with. I am also going to turn this around because I'm right-handed and I don't know how to cut left-handed. I'm just going to go ahead and choose a point and cut that selvage off. Now, that gives us a better view of the quilt itself, right? Okay, so let's look at it now. So we have one going through there. I don't want everything just crisscrossing, but I do feel like right now we can still handle a piece going across here. We're not going to cut it up into a million pieces, guys. We're just going to give it a little character. Again, my ruler's not going to be long enough. So now this will be where we'll need to match it, because it will look goofy if it's not. I think we're going to do it more like this. I don't think that went all the way through. Right there. Okay, there we go. Now, we'll take it back over to the sewing machine in just a second. But since we are here, let me grab a piece of binding. All right, guys, so this first seam won't matter when I sew it. It'll just be what it is. But when I put this second piece on, I really kind of do want this to match. So to do that, once we get this sewn on, we're going to lay this piece on top. Okay, kind of match it all the way around. Okay, and then we're going to fold this back. See, now that don't match. So we're going to adjust this to where when we fold it back, it's going to look like one continuous line. Now, it may be off a bit, but it won't be terrible. And at the distance apart, if it's off a little bit, it'll be okay. But you don't want it here, because that's going to look weird. You are going to want it there. Okay, we'll do that at the sewing machine. I just wanted to kind of show y'all. Okay, so to start with, I'm just going to put my small bottom piece on the side, and I'm just going to sew this across just like we did on the other one. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at it like this, okay? So we want this to sort of line up. As I have it here, as you can see, that would be terrible. So I'm going to feel it with my fingers. And I'm just going to put it like that. And I'm going to get it lined up, okay? But right here, it's not even. So I've got to pull it out where it's even. Just playing with it a little bit. And if you peel it back, if I sewed it just like, hold on. Put that way. Ah, black is a great color. It looks fabulous in there, but it's hard to see black. I'm working on it. It's worth the time to take the time and do this though, guys. I don't know of any miraculous way to do this, okay? I just don't. Let me use a smaller pen and go in the other direction. Let's do it like this. Okay. See how nice that's going to look? How it's just going to line right up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this pin in here just to hold it in place. Where did I put that other pin? There we go. And I don't want that to move, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pin this, but I don't want any fabric squishing down, moving, or anything like that as I'm sewing. Okay, we should be good like that. Okay, oops, I'm going to go ahead and iron that, and then I'll meet y'all back over at the cutting mat, and we will decide on our next area of cutting. So I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Okay, I don't want to make any straight cuts, okay? That I don't want to do. I'm gonna cut it here, just a slight angle. Then cut it twice. Okay, we'll put that there. That's gonna be our bottom piece, okay? And we will put a piece on that. Now, we want this to become more interesting, right? Because if we just do that like that, it's not going to be all that interesting. So, next cut is going to be like this, and it's going to meet into the black line here. Okay? Okay. So, I'm going to put this here. So I need something up here to break that up. Okay, let's do this angle here. Okay, so this is going to be our first one. Now I'm going to put this back on the table as a jigsaw puzzle because I don't want to get mixed up. Okay, so we're going to put this here. This piece goes up here. This piece is going to go here. And this piece will go across the bottom. So I'm going to put the bottom piece on the side. So the first thing I'm going to put together is I'm going to put this in here, trim it, make it even, press it. Then we're going to put this piece in here, fix all that, and then we'll add the bottom. Then we'll see if where we need to cut it, if we need to cut it anymore. All right. So this is just going to be a straight out sew up each side. Nothing specific, nothing kooky. Just like the first strip we put on. Okay, let's see. That looks like it matched up pretty close right there. That's what I was concerned about. So let me go iron this. Cut it because I want y'all to see how good it come out. So let me move this on the side. That's our next piece to put back on. The ruler, the big plastic ruler. And let's put it on here. When I line that up, it's not too bad, y'all. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of trim this off right here. And let's have a look and see what we got. That's not hardly nothing. So next one to go on is this one here. Right? So this piece is going to go on next. Now this piece will end in it, see? But this piece we need to line up, right? Correct. So, our main thing is this here, lining up with that. That is going to be our main objective. Right, so, I'm going to take this to the sewing machine real quick and sew this. I'll be right back, and then we will line this piece up. So, what I want to do now is I only have to match up this seam with that seam. Right? And it's going to be, I mean, you can't do it like that. Obviously, that's not going to work. So, I got to turn it around here where I can get to it. So, I'm going to just give that a quick pin. And that's pretty close, guys. I think it's close enough. So that's the angle that we're going to sew on, okay? it's just kind of a matter of feeling it. See, this one's opposite, so you can't really do where you feel it. You're just going to have to test it. It's only going to take a few tries, because once you test it one way and it don't fit, then you'll know which way to adjust it. I'm going to go with that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to take this to the sewing machine. We're going to sew that seam. And while I'm over there, we're going to go ahead and put the black strip on this one side here, okay? And that'll be 2 pieces done. Okay, so let's give this a sew and see what we got. Okay, let's see. Hopefully it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Okay, so we're going to do a finger press here just to make it go in the right direction. It may not be perfect, but y'all, I think it turned out pretty good. So just play with it a little bit. You may find a way that, or you may know a way. And if you know a way, please share it in the comments to make those lines line up easier. But it really wasn't that difficult. Now, here's our next spot, right? Okay, I'm gonna go to the ironing board, press this flat, and I'll come back. Well, press on both, and then I'll be right back. I think it came out pretty good there. So our next one to go on is going to be right here. Oops, upside down. And we're going to be matching this one here. Are we ready for this? I don't know. Okay, that's not too bad. I'm going to press that, and then we're going to meet back over at the cutting table. I think the next step is to trim it. So obviously it's not going to be able to be trimmed on its original lines. Now let's look at it. All right, so I think what we need to do is put a black border the same size as all this all the way around it. I think that'll pull it right in, and then we can put a different border on the outside of that. This one looks really good. This one looks good. This one's off a little bit. And this one is off just a little bit. But at least I'm being honest with y'all. This one's off a little bit. That's the last one we did. I'm going to cut some more black borders this width, 1.5 inches. So there we go. This is pretty good with the black along the edges. I think it gives us the look that I was looking for, a really fractured look. So that little piece I cut off the bottom had 2 of each of these. Now I could inset them as the 4 corners, but I really didn't want a structured look after we went so far as to make it look very fractured. So I'm just going to push this a little bit more to the side. Let me see if I can zoom this out just a little bit more. As far out as it'll go. Okay, so this is my thought process. I'm going to take these little blocks and I'm going to make them random. I cut them at 5.5 inches because that's the most I could get out of them. We're just going to look at this one side. Now I had this raspberry here, but I did not have enough of this raspberry to do the entire block, but I really like the raspberry, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I am going to also make it random. Let's get a ruler here. And we're going to straighten up this bottom edge because it's got a little bit of the selvedge showing. Okay, so I'm going to put a piece, just a random piece, or size. Nothing specific. I'm not even measuring it. I'm just going to cut a piece that I think will be fine. Okay. And I'll sew that to this. Now, I had more of this. So, we're going to use more of this. But I don't know really what sizes I need until I get to sewing, okay? So it's kind of going to be a hodgepodge. But it's just going to be fun. I'm going to do the two sides first. So I'm going to take and maybe sew this here. Then I'll cut a piece of this to go below it. And it's going to have to be, oh, I didn't cut that wide enough. Well, ain't that something? Oh, that one's not, but this one is. Sorry. That was a piece of leftover from something else. Okay. It got stuck on my stack. Let me cut this piece. Sometimes I have scraps mixed up in my fabric. So I'm going to cut a piece like this. And I'll probably go ahead and cut it along here. Now I'm not going to want all of them to be the same, so I'll probably put a piece of this at the top. I really wish I would have had enough of this because I think that is perfect. But if you don't have it, you don't have it. So that's okay. Let's see here. That's one. That's two. That's three. And that's going to be 4 pieces sewn together. So that's going to be 2 extra inches. So probably if I cut it just about on that seam right there, it should go together just about perfect for this one side. Now the other side will not be the same. We'll do it different. Alright guys, so I'm going to run to this sewing machine and I am going to piece these pieces together, iron it flat, and then we'll look at the next side. Okay, so see how that just kind of looks, it's put together, but it kind of brings the colors in and out. So let's look at this side next. So we have another one of these, and I don't know, maybe I should put this on this side, and then maybe this down here and that up there. So, or we could do the 2 beehives to the side and the 2 little birdhouses to the top and bottom. I think that's what we'll do. Okay, so this one here, I really think I want a little bit more of the raspberry on it. So I'm just going to choose an amount, no specific set. Just going to line it up with a line, so I cut an even line. Okay. Set this to this. Oops, it didn't cut all the way. I'm going to set this to the side. So this one, I feel like go up there. And this is how you can just play with things and see what you think. Now this one, I have plenty of this. And let me show you what else I got that we could add in there. We do have some of the black left, and I could put a piece of black on top of that, and that would kind of break that up. I think that's a good idea. 5.5 inches. I'll have to cut that with a different ruler, but I'll do that. So let's just put a piece and see if I got my shortest piece. It doesn't really matter, huh? Okay, so I'll just lay that there for aesthetics purposes. And then we'll come along here and cut a piece. And we'll put a piece of this here. And then the purple to the top. And see, that really helps build out the quilt. But it's still a little bit of a little fun to it. Okay guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and figure out how I want to do this and my measurements. I'm gonna sew it on both sides, and then we'll look at the top and the bottom. I kind of like it. It gives it a little more modern flair, maybe. I really kind of like the way this is coming out. So I'm working on one of the bottoms. I think I'm gonna put the burgundy like that, or the plum, I don't know what color that is, raspberry. I think I'm gonna add a little black strip in. Might be better putting it here if I have enough. And I should. So anyway, I'm gonna kind of do this for the bottom, sew it on, figure out something for the top. Then I'm gonna put it up on the design wall for y'all to see. Okay guys, so here it is all finished. I think it probably took me about 4.5 hours. I was interrupted quite a bit. Just some stuff I had to take care of, not anybody, just things I had to do with my own self. But I took a panel that really I had no attachment to, that felt a little cartoonish, coloring book. And now with the lines and these panels on the side, I think it kind of modernized it. So I'm in love with it. I really am. I think it just turned out beautiful. And so all I did was just cut panels. I did not measure anything. I did not think about anything in the way it was going together. I did kind of think about this. It's not perfectly centered, but it kind of broke that up. Other than that, it just kind of fell out where it was. I didn't want anything to really meet with the seam here in the corners. So I made sure that that did not happen. I like using these little blocks here that was and that little border that was along the bottom. That kind of helps break it up and pull it out. So y'all guys, let me know what y'all think in the comments. I think for a binding, anything will work. I could use the yellow. I could use the raspberry color. I could use black again. I could even try to find a lavender or a blue that would work. I'm not real sure. Or I could take all the scraps I have from all these different pieces and piece them together and make a scrap binding, and that might be what I do. I haven't decided yet. Well, anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all joining me again this week for our panel quilt of this month. And next week should be a block. I'm working on a block that I really, it's out of the Kansas City Star book, and it's from 1928. So fall of 1928 is this block. And I'm modernizing it a little bit, not really changing it, but I'm changing the way it goes together. The last one I did, we had to do paper piecing, and I didn't want to have to do that again. So I've just got this little point on the corners to figure out, and then I'll just be able to give you all the measurements so you can make your own. But anyway, guys, remember to always be yourself. And thank y'all for joining me. Thank you for all the new subscribers. Again, I appreciate everybody subscribing, liking, giving me comments. Y'all make me feel so excited and so good. And enjoy yourself between now and next week when I see y'all again. Bye.